Right, Nora, we are in Milliken and Murray, and you can see that the road is shut down. We don't know for how long, but we do know from Beaverton Police that the incident happened right across the street over here at the building called The Court. Michael Baker says he's determined to catch all the Pokemon he can get around 1 this morning. We're here at Cleveland Station. Nora, let's take a look at what's left behind. There's debris on the ground, and the staircase is pretty much charred. We're right across the river from the accident site. You can see that plume of smoke just developing. Let me just show you. The Cadillac hit a tree, knocked over a sign as well as a parking sign, and ended up right here on the curb. What remains of that crash, a knocked over fence as well as scattered glass on the ground. Some districts have sent in water samples and in bottles like this to check for lead. Well, back in May, the city of Portland did move in to clean things up, but if you walk down the trail, you could still see about 30 tents set up.
I walk this trail every day for like 10 years with my other dog.
This is where it all starts, the homeless area.
This neighborhood is the place both Mike Nielsen and Tim Scott call home.
4 years
Showing them
ago.
our friendly neighbors?
Yes, sir.
Good.
The difference, Mike lives in a house while Tim,
Now, this is my camp right here.
in this tent.
Some more camps here, there, and then it goes back further this way.
They are divided by the spring water trail near Southeast 82nd.
It's like a migration.
We're the problem. We're the big problem here.
Problems that cause a scene. Police say they're investigating a shooting early Tuesday which involved 2 people who lived in this camp.
It's not a good deal. It's not a good scene.
The issues in this area have been evident for years. Mike says a couple months ago, many people set up tents near the trails, making it tough to feel comfortable.
And there was people camping both sides of the road here on either side, and you could barely walk through.
When we were camped up here, it was pretty messy.
To address the homeless issue, in May, the city of Portland cleaned up camps near the trail between Southeast 75th to 83rd.
I just couldn't believe my stuff was gone. My tent, everything was gone.
Though Mike says the problem isn't fixed.
It just pushed it down.
Further into the trails where you can see the top of tents, where people like Lynette are still building their homes.
I don't even know where we'll go because they've kicked us out of every place.
As for Mike, he says he's tired of the problems the camps bring in.
I'd like to have this area cleaned up, mowed, and taken care of.
While Tim hopes to find a common ground.
It's up to us to show them that we want to be part of this community, and that's just going up, picking up garbage. Might not change their mind about us, but they'll see that, you know, maybe we want to be in the community.
A spokesperson for the city of Portland did say the rule is people can camp between the hours of 9 p.m. to 7 in the morning. We rode with Sergeant Phil Blanchard tonight, and he says with the 20 years that he's been with Portland Police, he knows that crime can happen at any time. But this time he says it's gotten out of hand.
1023 of Rosa Parks and I-5 did reach a terminus and got up the freeway.
Sergeant Phil Blanchard's patrolling the streets of North Portland.
6324 North Kirby Avenue.
They're just shooting at each other.
In his 24 years in Portland police uniform, he says he's never dealt with this problem.
We have so many shootings like that right now that are just right out in broad daylight.
He says he doesn't know the exact answer as to why, but one factor, he says, is that they are gang-related.
There's a lot of aggression between the existing gang sets, and they're shooting at each other in broad daylight.
The latest happened Monday, where the gang unit is investigating a car-to-car shooting on I-5, which caused a traffic nightmare.
It's 3:30 in the afternoon. People are walking around.
Phil says when he was a teen, he was on the other side of the fence, always getting into trouble, and wants to make sure people are safe in a time of a lot of unpredictability.
Well, I'll go drive around the Bible church. I mean, it's unbelievable that nobody else has gotten hit. That's my biggest concern. I mean, I don't want anybody shooting at each other, let alone gangsters, but I always worry that somebody's going to get killed.
Hey, Wayne, yeah, Sean didn't want to share his name, but he tells me that the drugs, the high-speed chases, and going in and out of jail was really a norm for him. But it wasn't until one chase, which left his car mangled, that he found himself at City Team near Southeast Grand and Stark, where he got help. This was 4 years ago, a crash that nearly took Sean's life.
I got knocked out.
Even then, he says he really had no plan to turn his life around.
I don't think I was ready to quit then. I thought I'll make it through this, you know, just like the other times. And, You know, I'll go to jail, get out, and keep doing it again. It keeps happening. Every time I just keep going to jail, keep going to jail, keep going to jail. It's like I just got tired of it after so long.
Exhausted of his lifestyle, something finally clicked, and he turned his energy somewhere else.
City! Okay.
Sean says he walked into City Team, an organization which helps men recover from drugs and alcohol.
This is my first time ever trying to get my life together, ever. And so far, so good. I want it bad enough.
He worked through the steps of overcoming addiction. Now, with more than 2 years of sobriety under his belt, Sean works as a case manager to help those who were once like him.
And he is, you know, giddy about looking at the future and actually saying, like, I have a future, I have purpose, I have meaning.
Sean says he now thinks all those troubled years and how he turned it all around helped prepare him to be a leader.
Oh, you guys let me down today. I've got so much going for me. I've shook off all those reservations I had.
Now, Sean plans to open a recovery house for the same men who've graduated the program he did at City Team. Investigators are here at Clackamas Trail's apartment where they say they're looking into a suspicious death. I've been seeing them coming in and out of an apartment number 140. Now, as far as this crime scene is concerned, it's pretty big, and neighbors tell me that some of them could even get into their apartment because of this investigation. Now, deputies say that they're slowly escorting some people into their home. Now, I did talk to at least 10 people who said they heard something last night around 10:30, whether it be a gunshot or firework. Some people assumed it was nothing because it's so close to the 4th of July. But one person who lives directly across that unit said she in fact heard men yelling, a gunshot, more yelling, and then someone yelled to call 911, which she did around 10:45. And then I talked to another woman who tells me that she was just coming here to visit her boyfriend, but she couldn't because of this investigation.
Stuff happens all the time everywhere. It's ridiculous.
Two neighbors told me that they know the person who died, and they say that it's a woman in her 80s, but that information has yet to be confirmed by the sheriff's department. Now, details are pretty limited at this point, but the deputy told me that nobody, whether it's in this apartment complex or the public, is in danger. But they do need your help. Whether you know anything about this crime, call the Clackamas County Sheriff's Department. Hey, Nora, yeah, the police say the shooting happened at that Safeway parking lot, but as you can see, they've also taped off the Chevron gas station across the street. Now, we do know that police say it happened around 9 tonight, where a young man was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, and that the gang unit is investigating this case. Now, as far as traffic is concerned, Jansen and Tomahawk is the only road that I can see is blocked off, but details are pretty limited at this time, so we'll bring you the latest as they become available. Ralph Himmelsbach says he was on this case the day it started, until he retired 10 years later. Ralph says it's the longest case he's ever had, and tonight, after decades later, it's a case he still doesn't have answers to.
So you don't just say, well, so what? You're going to keep looking.
For a decade, former FBI agent Ralph Himmelsbach tried to figure out the nation's only unsolved skyjacking case.
Here's a guy who took over 40 people as hostages, threatening to blow them up, and himself too, with a bomb.
In 1971, a man calling himself Dan Cooper hijacked a plane out of Portland. It safely landed in Seattle, but Cooper negotiated to get $200,000 in ransom money and parachutes. Then he was back in the air, decided to take a leap of faith, and hopped out with the cash.
We never did find him. We found lots of suspects, talked to thousands of people, and didn't have any answers.
Since the case started, detectives found bundles of cash along the Columbia River, matched it to Cooper's ransom money by serial numbers in 1980. They also found evidence of a titanium-tied clip which he owned. Some believe D.B. Cooper made it out alive. 5 years ago, an Oklahoma woman claimed Cooper was her uncle, who passed away. On Tuesday, the FBI announced they were no longer looking for the mysterious skyjacker and closed the case.
They're not going to waste any more agents' time and investigative efforts. Even if we caught him, still couldn't prosecute him.
Ralph says what happened is a mystery, but as for where Cooper wound up, he thinks he knows the answer.
I think most likely he is still lying at or very close to where he fell.
The FBI says it has conducted searches, collected all available evidence, and interviewed many people. And even after many tips, none led them to the hijacker. In studio tonight, Sugianto, Fox 12 Oregon.